Hello and welcome back to BrightIAM. I'm Lucy. This is the Champagne series and I am so delighted and thrilled because today on the show we have got the wonderful Maxine Laceby. Yeah, give it up for Maxine. What was the saying you just said as you're saying?
Still got it.
Still got it, baby. This woman is an icon. And I mean, I've just been saying it all day. You are brilliant. And I'm so pleased to have you here in Brighton in the podcast room with the lovely boys. And you're joining us on the Champagne series because you are a woman of inspiration.
Thank
and
you.
actually, your story, Maxine, started later in life.
Yeah.
And maybe just for people who perhaps don't know as much about you as I do, just an overview of where you are now in business and what it is you do would be great.
Yeah. So first of all, I did that because I've got a tattoo saying "Still got it" here.
She still got it.
So I am the co-founder of Absolute Collagen. We were one of the very first collagen brands. Started 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years next year. One of the fastest growing business, named in the Times as in the top 4 of the fastest growing business in the UK. I work with my children and have great fun.
Yeah, you've done absolutely amazingly. And I've looked you up particularly on paper. Can you confirm your turnover in that period of time?
So about 30 million now.
Yeah, 30 million. And this is from a product that you've created, a business that you made. Can you tell us how it started? Because honestly, Maxine, this is the inspiring story we need as women.
Do you know, it's really interesting. Before I tell you the story, I took a friend to Bath. Well, she's somebody I met in business and we become friends. And I took her to Bath recently to stay at my house. And she works in advertising. She's a lovely girl. And she says to me, right, now we're on our own. What's the real story?
I love that.
What? She went, what is the non-commercial story? I went, of what? She went, Absolute Collagen. I went, that's it. It's true.
Okay.
She went, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I had been a stay-at-home mum since I was 25. Very fortunate to be a stay-at-home mum. Very lucky. I was privileged to do all that, and I loved it. My children were still the last to be picked up from school, though, I will say. And I'd split up with their dad. I left him quite a while before, when I was about, I don't know, 48, 47.
Okay.
And so it was just me and the girls. And I got to this point in life where Darcy was going off to university. Margot just passed a driving test. And I was like, my God, I don't have to do the school run anymore.
Wow.
Oh, my God. I also had step girls who I absolutely adore. They're a lot older. So I've been doing the school run a long time. And I just thought, wow, what shall I do? And I decided to do a fine art degree at 49 in Wolverhampton. So I've always been actually interested in art. I've never had the opportunity to do a degree when I was younger. It was all about, get out and earn money at 15. And so I just thought, okay, this is my time. What am I going to do? So I rocked up for my fine art degree. And within the first year, I did this project called Dare to Go Bare.
Okay. Tell us about that.
And it was all about being a woman of a certain age. If I removed all my external masks, would I disappear in people's vision? So what I mean by that is I used to have long, dark, curly hair. I mean, it's very dramatic. Maxine's very dramatic. I had it all cut off. I used to have it coloured every 5-6 weeks. I had the colour taken out. It went yellow. Okay. Then I started letting it go grey. I wore no makeup and I wore really, really dowdy clothes for a period of 4 months. And I mean like leggings and t-shirt. I looked like a bag lady.
And this is at 49?
49.
Wow. And actually at a time when a woman's identity is changing dramatically.
And I can honestly say if I could get every woman to do that, and I think that project, so it was just an art project, but what it made me realise is I'd always been something else for somebody else. I'd always woken up every morning, and women always question me when I say that, but until I say this, I'd wake up every morning and go, who does everybody need me to be today?
Okay, I can relate to that. How many people do you need to help before you can get on with the jobs you need to do to provide for the people that are there?
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's how women are. And it's part of us that is just so gorgeous and so humble and so, I love it. But it comes a point when you just go, okay, enough now. And so I did this fine art. I did this project, Dare to Go Bare. I'd say leaving my husband was the bravest thing I'd done. This was on a par, the scariest thing and the most exciting at the same time.
So how did you feel then? So you've completely transformed and you are, I suppose they call it a grey rock, don't they, in psychology? There's just, you're plain.
Yep.
How were you perceived or received by the world?
What I got from it is how I perceived myself. It wasn't how other people perceived me.
Oh, so it stopped being about the other people.
Yeah.
And you started that journey of working out who you are.
Yeah. And so I'd look in the mirror and go, oh, look at you, look shit. And you can't go out. You can't. This is before lockdown, by the way. So I think we've all relaxed a bit since lockdown, but you can't go out looking like that. And I remember the university had a trip to London, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to London looking like a bag of shit. Like, oh my God. But I went, I was really did it. I'd just do it. And what I did is every single morning I would wake up and I'd sit on the edge of my bed and I'd put this make-believe onesie on. That onesie was Maxine.
Oh, that's sweet. That's really sweet.
And I think there's quite a bit that goes on there. So I'm adopted, I'm ADHD, so there's lots of masking in my life. So I'm not saying we're all the same, because my friend said, I'm always me, and I'm like, brilliant, but I know I haven't been me. So, being adopted, I was in a family where it wasn't me, but I had to become them. And then I think anybody that's got ADHD, you have to mask a lot because your behavior can be too much or whatever. And so, but actually, when I talk to a lot of women feel the same. So they haven't got ADHD, they haven't been adopted. It's just about every morning waking up and going, who does everybody need to be? What hat do I need to wear today? Am I psychologist? Am I cleaner? Who am I today? And I took all that away and I thought, no, this is now my time.
How interesting, because actually those generations, almost looking at the decades, reflecting on my own life, I am certainly not the same person or act in the same way as I do all those times. But I wonder if I've ever given myself that time or had the opportunity to have that time. And it is when your kids are older, I suppose. Go, who am I?
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever done for myself.
Okay, and now from our talks earlier, before this podcast, you like to holiday alone, you can live alone, you're obviously a very successful businesswoman alone, but you have this air of peace and fulfillment, contentment about you. And
I feel that, I really do. And do you know what? Part of that project, and it's interesting looking back, how the psychology of that project. So all my life, when everybody went right, I wanted to go left.
Okay.
And I always went right. I followed.
Right. So it took you until you'd done this degree and really taken off all those layers of masks to actually believe enough in the turn that you wanted to take.
In Maxine. I stood firmly in Maxine. And if I wanted to go left, I started going left.
Oh, wow.
And the minute I did that, the world opened up to me.
Okay.
Mad.
So this kind of accepting yourself and actually trusting and believing in the power of yourself, stripped away of all the masks and the roles that everyone else puts on. That's opened the doors that have enabled you to be a successful woman in business and life.
And it literally is just by accepting, I won't even say accepting, just by becoming Maxine, the person I was always anyway, but I was covering up so much.
Yeah.
Because when you're 13, 14, 7, 25 and all your friends say, oh, it's right, and you go, I feel I want to go left. You go, okay, right's easier. And it's having the confidence to go, no, actually, this is where I'm at. And I remember, and do you know, it's absolutely the weirdest thing. When you start doing it, everyone else follows.
Oh, so you've inspired people by doing it.
In their vision of me.
Okay.
So I remember getting out of the car one day, and as every bloody mother, we might as well lay petals for our kids when they're walking down the road. I got out of the car, I went to open the front door, and Margot went to walk through. She was 16 at the time. And I said to her, I was about 17 actually, just whatever. And I said to her, actually, Margot, I think it's time I went through the door first.
Okay, interesting.
And she looked at me and she smiled, and she still remembers that conversation. She went, yeah. And it was just a tiny little act that said to her, I'm actually important in this too,
Yeah.
And actually you're becoming an adult now, and
And you're actually showing her because you've looked after these children, and I know what it's like with the kids. You give them all the love and the care and everything they need. But what you're showing her there is actually respecting yourself as a woman, and she's becoming a woman. Well, she's a woman now. She's getting married, I think you said, next year. Yeah, how interesting and how
Mm.
lovely that your relationship with Margot, she could stop and see.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
She
that.
did, and she smiled, and we have that conversation. She remembers the day,
Yeah.
and she just remembers. She says it's kind of changed. Something changed in me.
Yeah,
I
good.
saw you differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that when we do feel something in ourselves and integrate that into ourselves, become ourselves, then those energies and those signals come out, don't they?
Well, I think also for me, once I found the courage, because it took a lot of courage to be Maxine, because I am different. I know I am,
Mm.
and that takes a lot of courage because you're always told you're not right, you're different, you're this, you're that, and so there's always a negativity to that.
Mm.
And I was just so exhausted by it. I just thought I just want to be me, and it's so liberating. And then you find out you really do find your tribe because you're being so authentically you.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah, you really do find what floats your boat and what doesn't. And actually, the stuff I don't tolerate, I just don't tolerate. I don't like it, but I'm not rude. I don't say to people that I don't do that. It's just I don't choose to do it. I'm never rude ever. Everyone's different, and everybody should be allowed to be different. But yeah, it's been a wild journey. Actually, I was 20. No, that was what am I now? It was 11 years ago.
Okay. How beautiful.
I know.
And I remember when we first met through Andrew Barton, very great
lovely
friend of
Andrew.
ours. We love him. I talk about him all the time and my face goes all funny.
love
And you actually gave up your time and came to Holborn at Andrew's salon and did a wonderful talk for one of the events I was hosting, the Ambassadors Stand United. And you were talking there about your experience on Kilimanjaro.
Yes.
But you are somebody who, and even the tailor we were just at, Gresham and Blake down the road, you have a presence, you have a voice of authority. And it's really hard for me, who hasn't known you too long and has only known you as the real Maxine, to even consider you as somebody who wasn't like this before.
Well, maybe it's a difficult thing, isn't it? Maybe I've always been me, but didn't accept me. Now I've accepted me. But I don't know. I just kind of followed the crowd, whereas now I don't. And don't get me wrong, I think there's always things in life you have to follow the crowd, and I'm okay with that. It's just that by totally accepting Maxine and falling in love with Maxine, only when you truly love yourself can other people love you, and actually other people get you. Other people, I mean, yeah, they just get it. They get the essence of you, and you attract the same kind of person.
It's so important. And do you think it's more of a within age? I mean, I know just from my life experience, we've discussed some of it recently, who I am today is not who I was at 25. And I feel so blessed to be in my 40s and have this head of wisdom and knowledge. But I would say I'm not quite there of truly knowing and accepting and becoming who I really am. I'm very close and I'm a little bit like you, the black sheep, a bit outspoken, do things differently. But I am still being nudged along into the sensible paths. And I'm about to do something quite extraordinary. I know we were discussing it just a minute ago. And the advice from the outside world,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Everyone's telling me not to
Jesus
do it.
Christ, I had that all the time.
And they're saying it, and it comes from, and I know we spoke about this in Cardiff when we saw each other as well, and the wonderful entrepreneur women there. Don't do it, but it comes from their fears and their anxieties and their love for you and trying to keep you safe. But I don't think we can always play safe.
I think for me, what I do is I tend to discuss things with friends and family, and they know I will discuss it. I think you get to know yourself, and if I've got a decision to make, I tend to withdraw a little bit. I do housework.
Okay.
Like what that's about, I don't know, or I run or whatever. And then I don't think I'm thinking, but I am, and I'm processing, and I'll meet someone for lunch or and then I'm talking, and I always make my own decision, but I'm just sometimes and my friends will go, well, that's not what I said. You've done the opposite to what I said. And I've gone, yeah, but sometimes just by speaking it out loud, you're chewing the fat over in your head.
Yes.
And it always has to be your decision, doesn't it? And it doesn't mean somebody else is wrong. It's what's right for you at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And only you really know your life and what it is you want to get and how you feel.
Yeah.
So tell us, Maxine, because people listening to the show are going to be desperate to hear your story of how you started this absolutely successful business. Collagen.
Yeah.
I mean, you were basically the first person.
Crazy.
So all of this collagen talk, and everybody now knows about collagen.
Yeah.
I've got friends who do that, different bags. I don't take it yet myself. I should. But how did it start? Let's hear it from the beginning.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy, crazy story. So I did the fine art degree. I stripped myself bare of makeup. I looked at myself as a whole. Felt pretty crap because I was looking in the mirror going, and I used to have a yellow post-it on my mirror saying, "You are enough. You are enough." That was
Okay.
it.
Reminders, good.
Yeah, and I just started looking at myself as a whole. So I looked at myself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And I thought, I don't want to go back to that person. I just want to become Maxine. I don't quite know what that is. And, we've all got that inner monkey that sits there telling you can't do it, telling you you're shit, telling you this, that, and the other, you look crap, and all the rest of it. And I now laugh at that monkey because I still get it. But I
Mm.
smile, I go, yeah, here you go. I laugh at her now,
Mm.
which is interesting. And then I looked at myself physically and I thought I don't want to go back to that person. I want to be the best version of myself. And that also means feeling and fueling my body with the best. So I started making and drinking my own bone broth.
Okay.
So this was actually 12 years ago. And 12 years ago I was at university. So I started making bone broth and I was literally cooking up big vats in my kitchen, and drinking it. My friends started saying to me, yeah, you started off looking a bit rough, but actually, there's something about you. And I saw this amazing glow.
Okay.
And I said, I reckon it's this bone broth stuff. I'm drinking so much of it. And they started asking for it.
Mm.
So I was making it for them. Darcy, who's my eldest daughter and co-founder, I'm the risk taker. She's definitely crosses the T's, dots the I's. She's coming up with dust brown brush going, shit, what's she doing now? My God.
Mm.
And she said she was actually, it's so weird. She was going to go to university to do psychology because that's what the school wanted her to do. And she went to a grammar school and they pushed for that. And then she decided at the last minute to do food science because that's her thing.
Oh,
Supplements of
right.
food.
Oh, how
I
brilliant
know.
is that?
So she said, I'm going to take this to the lab, one, to make sure you don't kill your friends, and two, find out what that jelly stuff is. Because I kept saying to her, what's that jelly on top? When it went cold, a jelly would form. And I knew the jelly wasn't fat 'cause it didn't look like fat. It didn't solidify.
Right.
And then we found out the jelly was collagen.
Oh my goodness. So
I
this
know.
is incredible.
I know.
So Darcy, how old was Darcy then at the time?
Well, she was 19.
Wow. And so you really did co-found this.
Yeah.
This is co-founders
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what were the next steps? What did you have to do to make that jelly stuff? I mean,
So first of all, it was like spoke to scientists. I was always on the phone, and I think, I don't know. I mean, I just used to phone people up and say, "You're a scientist in food. Can I talk about this?" Or, I just phone people up and ask. And I remember talking to one guy, and So we looked by talking to people. We'd worked out the marine collagen was far superior.
and that's the fishy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sustainability of it, the traceability of it was really good. So I was like, okay, and it was better for hair skin. Now it's got to be, let's do the marine collagen. And so we started buying it in then because I couldn't make, white powder from fish skins or whatever. I mean, that was
Yeah.
never going to happen in my kitchen. Well, I don't know. And the amount, so we looked at how much collagen we needed. And so the bone broth just definitely wasn't giving us the amount of collagen to make a massive difference. So we looked
Okay.
at what's the collagen amount we needed, what's the best collagen. Hydrolyzed means it's been broken down. So your body, because collagen's a protein, so your body shouldn't go into your bloodstream. When it's been broken down, it does. And that's when it gets the fibroblasts to support and make your skin better. And so we were looking at, okay, I didn't want a powder because I wanted it to be for me and my friends. So really, really easy. So I wanted it in a sachet.
Yes.
I wanted it ready mixed. I wanted it the maximum the collagen I need. I didn't want any BS ingredients in there.
No,
Collagen's
good.
the hero. Vitamin C we found out we needed because that supports the collagen, the maker collagen. So there was lots of kind of things like that happening. And then funny enough, we spoke to a blender who'd been blending for Holland & Barrett and Boots 25 years. And he said, this is a stupid formula, it will not blend. I went, you're right. Because if you imagine, you've got 8 grams of powder and collagen's glue.
Okay.
It's the glue that holds us together. So you've got 8 grams of powdered glue and you put drops of water in, it gloops.
Okay.
Right, but I knew I didn't want this to be a massive amount to drink. I didn't want to have to mix
No.
it. And so I'd gone through loads of blenders in my kitchen. And it was like collagen everywhere.
Mm.
And I'd worked out a couple of steps to take. And I do think that's where women are brilliant. Anyway, he phoned me back 2 weeks later and he went, I've worked in this industry for 25 years. I've never been able to work that out.
So you'd worked it
Yeah.
out.
But he has too much information because he had a degree, he had this, that, and the other. So he's looking at it too intently. And I think this is where women are great because we're solution focused, we're problem solvers.
Yes. And we can go a few steps forward, meet a brick wall, and then
Figure
do
it
a
out.
couple
Yeah.
back. And then, okay, we're either going to
Try
have to go
this.
through
Yeah,
it, round it, or over
yeah.
it. How interesting.
And I think it was because I was on my own and then I was, you know, just me and Darcy. There was nobody, no naysayers. There was no anybody going, oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it like that.
And I suppose Darcy being her age and working and at university in that space, and you were full of self-belief
Yeah.
and love and opportunity.
Yeah.
And she believes in you and you believe in her.
Yeah.
That's the recipe there for success.
Yeah, we've had this conversation a lot actually because Darcy was at 19, 20, she was paying POs for 200 grand.
Wow.
But I trusted her, I empowered her. And like she says, that's not normal.
No, it's not.
But I've always empowered my children to believe and they can, with a can-do attitude. And again, Darcy and I were being interviewed on this recently and she said, but it's how you were brought up. And I was like, oh my God, I so was. Like, it was just me and my mum. There was no one to do stuff. So if the stuff I was doing, I had to do it. My mum wasn't pretty incapable, an alcoholic, bless her little heart. But so if there was stuff to do, I had to do it.
Yeah.
And my mum empowered me to do it. And so I've passed that on to my children. And we have a wonderful, wonderful relationship. I mean, they'll put me in my place if I need it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think the multi-generational business works because you've got so many different points of view coming in and they teach me so much. Yeah.
The different generations. I see
Yeah.
what you mean with the different, what's going to work for that target audience, that market. But how is it when you're all sat round having dinner or you're all on holiday, social gathering? Is there a rule that you can't talk about business?
Okay, so there used to be. So I think before Margot joined the business, she used to just get so fed up.
Right. And so Margot, your youngest daughter, has now joined the business as well.
So she joined the business in lockdown because she got so fed up of hearing about the business.
Yeah, I bet
was
she
just like,
did.
I'm just going to join the business. And it was lockdown. We were working from home. We were packing from like 5,000 orders a week from home, if not more.
Wow.
And she would go out in the morning, go out to the garage, and she would pack them. We would all do a bit of everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so we never sort of sat down and had a discussion like Darcy and I will be business partners or Margot. It just happened organically, and that's what I absolutely love about it.
It's actually beautiful. So it sounds to me, just obviously I've got a history in psychology. There's no power play going on here.
Absolutely not.
Now that's very rare.
It is. I've been told that a lot.
Yeah, and actually being in a household perhaps before when you did have your husband in the house and things were different and the narrative was different. It's almost like there's this beautiful piece there with you and your girls.
Yeah, you know, when I left their dad, don't get me wrong, it was a hard thing to do. I just knew we weren't right for each other. And we bought a rat-infested house.
Okay.
And we got builders in. It took a year to do it. And everybody said to me, my God, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because everybody assumed that my husband did everything and I did nothing. They assumed I didn't make any contribution to anything. I'm like, well, we've just done a house in France. I know what I'm doing, you know, like, okay, I didn't physically do it, but I'm not, you know, and it was really weird. Anyway, so they'd come home from school. They were 11 and 12, and they'd put their hard hats on and we'd make decisions together. I needed them as well.
Wow.
So there's certain walls that had to stay. It'd be like, okay, that wall's got to stay, and and we'd make decisions together.
Okay.
And
so
we've always been like that.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think it is. I think it's very rare, actually.
It is. And I think that also women all in a group in a house. I mean, my mum and my nan lived together growing up, and I obviously lived with them for a time going away. And there was a little bit of rubbing alongside with them too. But my mum was an interesting character. My nan was absolutely potty and brilliant, loved her to pieces. But if you've got yourself and your two daughters, but you've always had that let's do this together approach and let's learn from each other, not pretend, listen, hear and learn. And very interesting what you've just said there, Maxine, actually, that everybody on the outside assumed that your husband was making decisions and doing things.
Yeah.
I'm very much the same.
Crazy.
I project managed a massive house construction, subdivision and everything. You learn on the go and you grow.
Yeah.
So tell me, in your business path, And again, reflecting on my own experience so far, just 12 months into my small business, were there times, Maxine, when you thought, oh shit,
Yep.
what on earth am I going to do now? Because I'll be completely open with you. I've missed a period this week with stress. It's stress. I'm like this because of this big decision. Is there a time in your early stage where you thought this is all going to go wrong?
I've been asked this a lot, actually. And yes, there was times. I cope with stress very, very well.
Okay.
I am really weird in the sense that I don't feel fear.
Okay.
Or I felt fear for so long, it's normal to me. I don't know which one it is.
Oh, I actually love that. I actually love that. So that feeling, that like low level anxiety, that kind of panicked, I don't know what to do. That isn't something that's in you now.
It's either in me and I've just learned to deal with it, because I think it was always, if I look at my childhood, it should definitely be there.
Yes.
So is it because it's a behavior that I know so well that I don't feel it? I don't know is the answer.
Okay.
It's interesting.
How
Yeah.
interesting.
And I've questioned this about myself, actually, because I don't feel fear. I'm like, yeah, just do it. Like, what's the worst can happen? No one's died, right?
And this is actually a really powerful thing. This is so powerful. Like a sentence I say a lot is, well, no one's coming to chop off my head.
Yeah.
My head's still here.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been talking to a few different people, charity-based projects all around the country. And there's a lady who very, very sadly had lost her daughter
Oh.
in her teen years. Somebody I'm speaking to more next year. It's in support of Amy. Very emotive. It really affected me. And then I go back to thinking about my problems, my financial decisions, my choice. And I literally hit myself in the face.
But they're still real to you.
They're real and they're personal to
Yeah.
me. But my only problems are my business and my choices, my finances. They're not my health. And I think we're so blessed if we're healthy
Yes,
and our
I
people
agree.
around us
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So going forward then, you're 10 years into Absolute Collagen. And actually, we'll go backwards a little bit. You understand your strengths and what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
I can see that. And that's so smart because we can't do everything.
Oh.
You brought in a CEO to run Absolute Collagen. Talk us through that.
So right on day one, I knew the product worked.
Yeah.
I could see the product worked. And I was like, this product works. Like, I believe in it. Absolutely. And so that was always there. It was never about starting a business. It was about, I need to bring this to as many women as possible to empower them, because I was sick to death of looking at fight the signs of aging. No one looks good after a fight, right? It was all about women having to change, women have to, and I was just like, do you know what? No. Women, as my children, need to be seen and most definitely heard exactly where they are. And that was what it was all about. And I remember about a year or so before I started my business, I remember going online and I think I bought a product or something, and I tried to get in contact with the company through social media. They didn't answer me back. And I was like, that's never, ever going to happen. And so on day one, I employed somebody to do social media because I couldn't do everything.
Smart.
And I don't know how to build a website. I mean, it was 10 years ago. 12, probably 11 years ago, because there's some work. Officially, it'll be 10 years next year, but there's some work going on behind the scenes. So I brought somebody in. What I'm really, really, really good at is intuition.
So feeling what's the right move next.
And reading people. I'm really
good. So play to your strengths. Understand the room.
Yeah.
Understand who you're working with.
And when you've got that capability, you're able to bring the right people in.
Okay. And did you need to get investors, Maxine, in those early days?
So in the early days, no. So the business started growing. It was like $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, no, it's $250,000 first year. Second year was $500,000. Third year was $2.5 million. Then $4 million. Then $8 million. It was mad.
Absolutely.
But we'd
potty.
never run a business before, so we were just putting our heads down and getting on with it, working from my house. And I've always said to my children, and this is my philosophy in life: all you ever have to do is the next right thing. It's really, really simple.
Okay, so just breaking that down
Yeah.
a little bit. All you have to do is the next right thing. And is that talking about looking at the bigger picture or just literally what's in front of you?
So I guess that's twofold. For me, so when people think business is really difficult, business is hard, business is very hard work. But it shouldn't be difficult because everything is signposted. And if you do things correctly and you don't cut corners,
Yeah.
then it should be okay. And I think people fall down. I work with a lot of investors, young investors, people, young companies, I should say, and they try and cut corners. And that's where I come in and say, all you have to do is the next right thing. That's it.
Okay.
But on the other side of that, in the business, it's about getting the right people. So my intuition and my ability to put the right people around me is phenomenal. I
Yeah.
will give myself that credit. I am
Good.
absolutely brilliant. And so everybody I brought in was a brilliant person.
And so you interviewed people?
No, there was one guy I knew he was doing websites. The person who'd employ him, he was just leaving, and I heard him say to this guy, Brad, who's our tech guy, never give anybody a pay rise. They're just about to walk out the door. And I thought, you're too good. You should not be working there. And he was leaving, so he came to build my website. Then it was even like the operations. I know I am not good at loads of stuff. And I think anybody looking to start something, never look at the big picture, right? Because if I looked at a £30 million business, I'd be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But you grow with the business. And so we started with one cell, one product, one cell. That's what Absolute Collagen is. And that's what we all start with. And that's whenever I go anywhere, people say, oh my God, you're really humble. And, I'm like, we're all equal.
Yes.
We started with one cell. No, there's no celebrity status. We're just who we are, right? And so bringing the right people in, knowing my strengths, knowing my weaknesses, and actually having the confidence to really start listening to myself. Because that whole project, when I was like, right, I'm just going to be Maxine, also there was this mental stuff going on that, if I wanted to go left and everybody was going right, I'd go left. So when it came to the business, there's a couple of decisions that maybe Brad or Darcy wouldn't have agreed with. And I was like, no, I feel really strongly about this.
Oh, so because you had become
Yeah.
and accepted Maxine,
Yeah.
you enabled yourself to make the decisions and they worked out.
Yeah.
Go on, Maxine.
But
Love that.
what I will say is, I think we can get so overwhelmed by decision making, especially in business. You can come up to a crossroads and you can get paralyzed. I remember doing this myself. Which decision, which way? Both ways could be right. Either decision could be the right decision. And sometimes I think we can get so bogged down with like, oh, should we use this manufacturer, that manufacturer? Actually, either could be right, but you just have to make a decision.
Yeah, so decision beats perfection.
Yeah, definitely. We still work with all the same people we worked on day one within the manufacturer.
Okay, now that says actually a lot about you and them.
Yeah, it does.
That's beautiful. So you've built these really authentic working relationships.
Because I was able to figure them out really early on. I met a lot of people, kissed a lot of frogs.
Did you? Oh, I've been kissing frogs for a while. Yeah.
And I was like, no, and the people we chose to work with, we work with today. And that's beautiful. I love that.
And your brand is wonderful. I was seeing I never guessed, Claire, who was on here the other day, that you were coming down. And she said, oh, Absolute Collagen, that's that yellow one.
Yes.
Yeah, baby. It's the yellow one.
It's all about yellow. And even that in itself. So I remember going to a branding agency and for some reason, I've never done anything before, right? And I just remember thinking, this has got to stand up and be counted. So I need a branding agency. Who the hell do I think I am? Went to a branding agency. Again, we still work with today.
Okay.
Source in Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury, however you say it. And told them my story and they got me.
And you felt that they had got you.
Yeah, because you and your product and your service will become so aligned. It's unbelievable. So I can't really explain it very well. Like, Absolute Collagen is all about empowerment. It's all about, I see you, I get you, I hear you, I'm championing you. I wear a yellow cape, right? Every day. And that yellow cape is, I am the chief absolute officer and I'm all about her. And there's no way I'm letting her down.
I love it.
And that's always been my role, really. So so then the team grew. So going back to, did I take investment? So I remortgaged my house. So whilst I'm a risk taker, I calculate the risks.
Yes.
So I don't just do them. So I sat the children down and I said, right, this business, the product works. This could explode. This will explode. we need to move fast, which
Yes.
means we need to put a lot of money into marketing, blah, 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 blah. And so the branding was like a lot of money for me at the time was 8 grand. Well, I mean, I wish it was that now, but
Yes,
that,
yeah.
but that I had no money. So I remortgaged my house. I borrowed money. I sold my motorbike. I sold jewelry. And I bought one of the pieces of jewelry back actually, which is really a few years later, which is weird. Yeah,
you?
yeah. I wish I bought. I tried to buy the motorbike back as
Yeah, I
well.
was going
But
to say motorbike, Maxine on a
I sold my
motorbike.
engagement ring and bought a bright red Ducati,
Did you? Good.
1000cc.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so I needed money. So I borrowed money from a friend and I remortgaged my house. I sat the girls down. I said, right, I need to remortgage a house. How are you feeling about this? And they said, what does that mean? I said, we go from a 4-bedroom to a 2-bedroom.
Yep.
You know, we got to put it into perspective, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yes.
or 3-bedroom to 2-bedroom. You have to put it into perspective. They're like, okay. And actually, you can sell anything if you wrap it up right.
Mm.
I wasn't saying I'm going to pull the rug from under you and you're going to be homeless. We had a solution.
And a joint project as
And a
well.
joint project, yeah.
It
And so
wasn't
they
just
were
something
involved.
Mum was doing,
Yeah,
that
they
she
were
was
involved in
going off.
decisions because, as I said, like I needed them. I still need them today. We need each other, and I think that's quite nice. I'm not superior to them. We're very equal, and we always have been actually. And so we put the money. So I knew that because we were Facebook first. It was Facebook then.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
like Facebook advertising, and I think the CPA was like £4. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's expensive, that Facebook advertising
I
now,
mean,
isn't it?
now
Those
I wish
metas
it was
and that.
£4.
I know.
Oh my God. And so you were spending every month. So we were spending probably about 8 to 10 grand a month on marketing and some other stuff, and
Okay.
nothing was coming in for a while because we were the first player in a market that didn't exist. So we had to educate the
Wow.
market.
Yeah, and actually, it takes a while for people to trust
Yep.
you and your
Yep.
brand. They need to see it a few
Yep.
times on the telly, on
Yep.
their phone, in a magazine, and then having, I suppose, ambassadors, that people they look up to and respect
Yep.
and they want to be like. And when did you bring ambassadors into Absolute Collagen?
4 years ago.
Oh, so this is actually only relatively new.
And we'd never worked with anyone before because I just didn't like the disingenuous. What's the word? Just
Yes.
disingenuous. I just thought, I mean, hey, collagen, especially now. Oh my God, it's the Wild West. I feel sorry for anybody trying to choose one. Even the supplements industry. I was at Parliament day before yesterday talking to them about the supplement industry. It's shocking. Anyway, yeah. So I was the face of. So we were. So 10 years ago, we were told we need to be in a shop. We needed the backing of a big brand, and I was like, no, I want to be the one that educates the consumer because I found this myself, and I want to them to understand it and take them on the journey. And so we went direct to consumer, which back then no one was direct to consumer.
It's a really risky path. It's a different
It
path.
was then, but now we are. So we were direct consumer for 8 years, and we've literally only just last year gone into Boots.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So we're only just doing it now.
And actually, I was talking to a gentleman, lovely man, yesterday in Brighton again, and mentioned you were coming onto the show. And he said, oh, yeah, I take collagen, but I just pick it up, Holland and Barrett or whatever. And I think that there is this thing that all collagen is the same,
No,
but
it's
it's really not.
Do you know, this is one of the reasons we were at Parliament yesterday, because it terrifies me. So I introduce you to collagen. You're like, yeah, knock yourself out. You start taking Absolute Collagen. 6 months later, you want to go somewhere else. I'm all for competition. Competition, you need it. It's
good,
healthy.
it's
It's
healthy,
great.
yep.
Keeps everybody present and on their game. However, I can't guarantee the quality or the traceability of that collagen, and that terrifies me.
Okay.
So if you take, whether it's a fish, whether it's bovine, they want to grow the animal fast. They fill it with hormones and antibiotics.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's shocking. And then the traceability. So we buy from one supplier, 27 farms all within one area, and it's the same supplier. They do so much wonder for that area as well, because the fish for marine collagen tends to be a low grazing fish. So they feed on the bottom of the rivers, and it's absolutely polluted, heavy metals, rubbish. And so you don't want any of that. So,
Okay.
which is why ours is slightly more expensive, because it's pure, it's proven, and it's powerful. And there
Okay.
is something to that. It's equally so with any supplement. So I was taking about 17 supplements at one time, because I was telling you earlier, I've been on my own GLP-1 journey, my weight loss injections. And I've done it very slowly. I've done it over 2.5 years. Been on the minimum dose the whole time. But I was taking 17 supplements to navigate the side effects. And then I know as a supplement person that this supplement on its own could be fab. This supplement on its own is fab. But when you put them together as a chemistry,
Okay, now
and
that's
people don't
interesting.
understand it.
Yes.
And so I went to my team. I was like, I'm taking these 17 supplements. It's doing my head in. They went, right, we'll create a product for you. So they created Sculpt for me, which is our GLP-1 support.
Okay.
So it's got 8 grams of collagen in each sachet. And then it's got 30 clinically aligned ingredients, all to support your weight loss journey. But we're getting so many people take it that are just at a certain point in their life that things are changing and they want a bit more support. Most people take about 7-8 supplements a day anyway.
Yes.
So we've put them all together. It's timed. So there's a morning dose and an evening dose. I mean, you've got your B vitamins, your vitamin D, your vitamin C, you've got your collagen. And then in the evening, you've got your creatine, your BCAAs, everything.
Okay, that's really interesting.
It's very interesting.
So you're fixing the problem
Yeah.
of making sure a woman in her most powerful era,
Yep.
which is what this
How
is,
he is, yeah.
has
And
got everything she needs.
age powerfully and lose weight well.
Yeah, and age powerfully is your campaign
Yeah.
name, isn't it?
So lovely.
And you're simplifying it, actually.
Yeah.
But that's very interesting. And I think for anybody listening to be aware that different supplements and different things are going to mix. There's going to be a chemical reaction and it might not be the best one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a minefield. And so, yeah, we just want it to be a little bit more regulated. And also, so if you take ours, we did the biggest clinical trial ever done on collagen ever.
Okay.
And it's not the manufacturer's clinical trial, because some people say, oh, we've got our own clinical trial. No, it actually belongs to your manufacturer, but the manufacturers are skewed. So they pay for the trial, and then the clinical house will say, what results do you want? Tell me the sentence you want to be able to say.
Yeah,
It's
yes.
BS.
Yes.
So we did it completely blind, cost us a fortune. Double blind placebo, meaning even the people that were operating and doing the clinicals did not know which one was real and which one wasn't.
That's brilliant.
Gold standard. And we did it so we didn't do it. So also what happens with any supplement is most will do their clinical trials on day one. They put it into a sachet.
Okay.
So this has got 18-month shelf life.
Oh, so you want
to know at the 18 months. So we sped up the shelf life and did it on the final product. That's very, very true. Very interesting, rather, because I think there was a magnesium one that's just been outed. And because I don't know if it's to do a shelf life or whatever, but they tested it and it had like 3% of what it said.
Oh, wow.
Yes, you have to be really, really careful. There's also one of our competitors. They've got their own clinical trial. Ours is also been peer reviewed and published. That means that even our competitors can look at it and say, yeah, that's true, because they're looking at the data.
And what were the results then from this trial?
Oh, we've got 33,000 points of information. It's all the clinicals are on our website. Go and have a look. It shows you how the skin elasticity better. It's all there. It's really simplified because it can be quite confusing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's nice to be able to get that and then to actually share it in layman's terms that this and all this information, all this money that's been spent, all that we've gathered means this.
Yeah.
But it really does.
And you do need it. So there's one of our main competitors. They've done a clinical. It hasn't been peer reviewed or published, and it probably never will, because they've done it on double the dose that's in their that they recommend a day. I mean, that's BS.
Well, in other words, you would have to take two. Well, there's no point doing a trial.
Honestly, that really winds me up. It makes me quite angry, because
false advertising, Maxine.
And do you know why it makes me angry? Everyone says to me, why have you not done a menopause supplement, right? The reason we were primed, we were the perfect person to a menopause supplement, because I'm peed off with everybody jumping on the menopause bandwagon, scaremongering women. I will never. I'm about empowering, right? And you've got all these brands like just calling it a turkey neck, calling it then. I'm like, no, why are you doing that to women? A lot of them are men that run it from a spreadsheet, shit ingredients. They don't care, and of course the power of the ingredients, the purity rather. So the only way I can describe it, this has got 8 grams in, and somebody might say, oh, but this one's got 13 grams in. And I say, yeah, okay, take fairy liquid. 2 drops of fairy liquid, 7 drops for another. I rest my case. Yeah. That's all I need to tell you. And that, people just don't understand. And I just think what's happening with the supplement market at the moment is people are becoming quite confused. And there's a lot of scaremongering. There's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of people making a lot of money from products that are quite crap.
Yeah, crap products
Yeah.
that are being marketed well with very hard marketing angles.
Well, they also, so we play by the rules. All we ever have to do is the next right thing, right? So we never
Yes.
break the rules. So, you know, if we're not allowed to say, okay, so you could go on to our website and you could take the collagen, right? And say, oh my God, my knee stopped hurting, right?
Yes.
And that's true, that will happen. So you put it on our website. We're not a medicine, so we take it down because we
Okay.
play by the rules. Whereas the other companies will market, this will fix your bad knee. Well, it won't. You're not allowed to say that, right? But they've already said it. So by the time the food standards or the HMRA come in, it's already been said and it's out there.
And people have heard it,
And
they've
people-
believed
and they
it,
believe
they've
it.
listened.
Yeah, it honestly is.
Right,
scary.
I've just got my clock ticking.
Yay.
I think it's absolutely fascinating, absolutely collagen. And I'm going to be looking at the website and actually reading this myself because studying psychology, the peer reviews and the way it's been done properly, it means a lot to me.
Yeah,
But it is a little bit of a concern
it is.
that people who haven't had that type of education and don't understand the standards are being said that there's a bit of advice or there's a little bit of research, but not all research is equal.
No. And I'm not, you know, I'm not educated in the way that I can do that. I haven't got a degree in science, but we have the people that do. I mean, Darcy does. She's got a food science degree. We've got doctors. We've got, well, 2 doctors actually. So we employ the people to do the work for us.
Yeah. And that's again going back to what you said right at the beginning, play to your strengths and bring in the ones that you need.
And, you know, anybody that feels right now they're stood on the edge of something. So I remember standing on the edge of a cliff, I call it, looking down, thinking, if I don't take this chance, this risk, if I take that step, am I going to free fall or am I going to fly?
Okay. How interesting.
I did a bit of both.
And I think that is actually true in most areas of life.
Everything.
Yes.
And it's fine. So we've got to have the ups and the downs. It happens.
Yeah, good. Oh, I'm glad you jumped.
Me too.
Fly and free fall, I don't care. You look fabulous doing it,
you.
darling. So on the champagne series, I always ask the same 3 questions towards the end. We've got about 10 minutes left here. I could talk to you all day, you know that. What is a truth, Maxine, about your life that most people would never actually guess?
Oh my God. I say this. I'm actually a really simple person.
Okay.
And people are like, really? I'm at my happiest when I'm outdoors. I've got running shorts, a cap, no makeup, and I'm lost.
Okay.
I'm running somewhere on a cliff and I'm lost and it's peeing down with rain and I'm having to think on my feet and I'm a nomad.
Okay.
That I think would shock a lot of people.
Yeah, because you're this powerful front-running corporate co-founder, you know, but that's where you're most at peace.
Yeah, and I'm actually quite a simple person. I remember growing up all my life thinking, oh, I'm really complex. Now actually you're very, very simple and it's beautiful.
Okay. That's really lovely, actually. And when you've not got other people in your life complicating
you
your
really
life.
find out who you are.
Love that one. And where in your life, Maxine, did you abandon yourself?
Ooh.
And how did you come back?
I think I'd abandoned myself my whole life until I did that project, to be honest with you.
And that's the project where you actually became
So I was
Maxine.
49. Yeah. So I think I've always abandoned myself until then.
And interestingly enough, at 49 is when you built this beautiful empire or started to.
Well, it was the art project.
Yeah.
Was when I was like, right. Yeah. So I think I'd abandoned myself the whole of my life.
Okay.
That's quite sad.
Yes, I think that there are probably, and I know for a fact, there are probably people who abandon themselves right through to the end of their lives.
Yeah. And it takes something to, you know, I don't want to say it takes a lot of guts because it's circumstantial as well. You know, some people are in circumstances they can't change and that breaks my heart. But yeah, I've done abandoning myself.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely. Exhausting.
Do you know what? Not abandoning yourself looks good on you, Maxine.
Yay!
I love it. And then finally, if there is a woman watching this, and obviously we've got the YouTube here, it's not just on audio, feeling stuck, perhaps where you once were, what does she need to hear, but not what is nice to hear?
What she needs to do, she needs to stand in front of the mirror. She needs to look into her eyes and hold it.
Okay.
And say she is enough and realize that everything she needs is inside her.
Okay, so I just love that. Like, that is so powerful.
Everything you need. And it's not the same as everyone else because you look at somebody else and like, oh, do I need to be like that? No, 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 no. Whatever if you're stuck in life in any way, or you're starting a business, or whatever you're doing, everything comes from you.
Mm.
So you have to find it within you, and it's there. Everything you need is inside you. I promise. You just have to have the courage to really dig into it, to find it and allow it, and the courage to allow it to come out. Because if it doesn't fit the box, people are going to question it, right?
Yeah.
But allow it to be, because it's so exhausting not doing it.
So exhausting and so draining, and also so distracting,
Yeah.
looking to too many others.
Yeah.
Oh, they've got that. I can do that. I can do that. That action beating perfection, that self-belief and the acceptance of self.
Acceptance of self. But you can only accept yourself once you've got to know yourself. And I think a lot of people run away from their true selves, like I did. I won't say I ran away. I just didn't get it. And then suddenly it's like, yeah, I'm Maxine. Stand up and be counted. We're all supposed to be different.
Yeah, we
It's
are.
life.
And that kind of shadow self. I did some work with a psychotherapist some years ago, and she spoke about Carl Jung and how through life we've got this backpack of elements of ourselves. Some we really like, some we don't. Okay. Most people go along life and they do not unpack this backpack. But if you are at a point in your life where you're starting to, and you're on this journey, you're taking things out of that backpack, you're looking at it, and sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm doing that at the moment, actually. I'm having coaching at the moment, and it's the first time I've ever had coaching, and it's about looking at what doesn't work for me. And the reason I'm having this coaching is because I meet a lot of people forward facing. And if somebody's energy doesn't feel pure, I withdraw.
That's great though.
No, it doesn't do me any favors
How
sometimes.
so?
It's business. It is great and personal, but in business, sometimes you've got to play the game.
Okay, so sometimes you've got to work with the assholes in business.
Well, not necessarily arseholes. I've got to look beyond. So, I used to. Well done, Maxine. Not, but I couldn't bear it when somebody brought out a product and they suddenly become a celebrity.
Okay,
I'm like,
interesting.
That, and I would recoil.
Okay.
But it doesn't do me any favors in a business or social setting.
Okay.
Because I need to see their why.
Yeah.
We've all got a different why. And I need to be a bit more accepting. So I'm having coaching now on understanding my energy, where it's best spent, but also sometimes I need to put that yellow cape on for my absoluters.
Okay.
And I need to absorb that energy because it's the right thing for the business.
Okay. That's so good. So that's actually a step beyond. This is the next level because you're safeguarding and protecting that brand and that business.
Yep.
That is so interesting. Love that. Well, listen, Maxine, I just think we need to live together, actually.
I love it.
Honestly, I really do.
Moving down to Brighton.
You are, yeah, come down here. It's great down here. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sharing your story and also your messages and your ideas, and they are inspiration. You're an inspiration, Maxine, and I am so, so honoured and so pleased that I know you. I really am.
And I'm so honoured to be here and to be invited. Thank you for having me.
Bless you. Bless you. So you have been listening to the Champagne series with the wonderful Maxine Laceby, Absolute Collagen. And we've spoken about all sorts of wonderful things, business journeys and becoming who you are. So try some of these techniques out because let me tell you, they look great on Maxine. Thanks so much. Take care. See you soon.